7 p.m. every weekdays for Freedom Evening News Basket.
A pleasant good evening from the nation's capital and welcome to Freedom News Basket, 45 minutes of major happening about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. And I'm Stephen Compton, anchoring this weekend edition of the news program. And top stories we are following this evening, the government of Liberia discloses plans to officially launch its 100 days deliverable in the country. Liberia to benefit from US 20 million provided by the Global Environmental Facility for the biodiversity land use and climate change activities in Africa. The National Patriotic Party refutes media reports of the party's withdrawal from the Coalition for Democratic Change. And away from home, the BBC is reporting that the decision to postpone this month's presidential election in Senegal was against the constitution the country top court has ruled. This plus the news bulletin and the actual voices of the news makers are all coming up next after the very short break. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. Up next is the Bulletin of News with Anthony Philip. Good evening, Philip.
Good evening, Stephen, and good evening, Liberia. Presidential Press Secretary Kula Fofana has disclosed plans by the government to officially launch its 100-day deliverables soon. Addressing Executive Mansion reporters at the regular press briefing on Friday, February 16, Madam Fofana said the plans are initially disclosed by President Joseph Boakai during his annual address to the nation are so far well on course. As part of activities leading to the official launch of the 100-day deliverables, the Presidential Press Secretary Kula Fofana told Executive Mansion reporters that government line ministries and agencies are now submitting their programs and plans to a special committee responsible for such tasks. According to her, President Joseph Boakai will be very keen on the implementation as well as the tracking of these plans in the interest of the people. As a means of showing tangible and just performance, each sector will specifically be in charge of its plans. A female advocate group, Girls Get Equal Liberia, with support from Plan Liberia International, has ended a day-long dialogue on ending the practice of female genital mutilation in Todi District. The dialogue was held with traditional leaders of the township and students of the Presbyterian Todi Mission School on Friday, February 16. Girls Get Equal Liberia is a group that provides opportunities for girls and young women to participate in decision-making processes regarding issues that affect them. Speaking during a panel discussion, the team lead of Girls Get Liberia, Faith Smith, said the dialogue was intended to intensify an awareness campaign on eliminating the practice of FGM, not just from Todi District, but other parts of the country. Madam Smith condemned the act of people forcing their girl children to such practice and call on traditional leaders across the country to help end the practice of FGM. She said the issue of FGM does not only need the effort of local leaders, traditional leaders, and international partners, but also the inputs and advocacies of young people whose future and that of their children are at stake. Speaking for the traditional leaders of Todi Township, Joseph Goba called on the government to stop the running of both regular and traditional schools. According to him, running schools at the same time has led to many females not completing their academic year, and called on the government through the Ministry of Internal Affairs to close down all traditional schools across the country. He stressed the need for leaders to urgently help in ending harmful practices, especially female genital mutilation, which, according to him, poses a threat to the future generation of the country. The Environmental Protection Agency, in collaboration with the Global Environmental Facility, has climaxed a full-day consultancy workshop on climate change. The full-day workshop, which commenced on Tuesday, February 13, in Monrovia, brought together representatives from Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Guinea, among others. The event provided an opportunity for GEF national actors to meet with their counterparts from other countries in the region and at the same time inspect projects that were implemented by GEF. Speaking during the closure of the workshop, Professor Wilson Tappet lauded members of the Global Environmental Facility and its regional counterparts for what he termed as their unwavering commitment and support to the fight against climate change. He said that GEF has implemented a series of projects in Liberia, thus disclosing that the organization has allocated $20 million US for the biodiversity, land use, and climate change activities in the country. For his part, a council member of the Global Environmental Facility thanked all participants who he said helped in ensuring that the objective of the gathering were met. He meanwhile pledged his organization's commitment and support to the fight against climate change and other environmental related issues which he said pose threat to livelihood of humanity. Workers of the Ganta Methodist Hospital in Ganta, Nima County, on Friday staged a protest action in demand of their 3-month salaries owed them by the hospital administration. Speaking during a meeting with a representative of the facility in Ganta, the president of the Hospital Workers Union, Gabriel Tonzia, said that their action was intended to call the attention of the hospital's administration to ensure that their salaries are paid. Tonzia, however, announced that the workers have decided to call off their strike action following a meeting with a representative of the facility who disclosed that their December salary has been transferred to their account and salary for the month of January will be addressed on or before next Friday. For her part, a representative of the Ganta Methodist Hospital, Madame Presidia Gleini, thanked the workers for considering their decision and promised to ensure that their demands are addressed in a timely manner. She used the occasion to call on the government to ensure that the hospital is subsidized, something she said will empower the facility to attend to the medical needs of Liberians, especially those in Nima County. Defeated Grand Bassa County District 5 Representative candidate Joa Dennis has accused the National Election Commission of certificating Representative Thomas Goshua without hearing her case before the hearing committee. Addressing a news conference Friday in Monrovia, the former Grand Bassa County Electoral District 5 Representative candidate said, after providing the NEC with all evidence regarding the recount in the district, the NEC went on and certificated Representative Thomas Goshua. According to Madam Joa Dennis, she believed the NEC received kickbacks from Representative Goshua for the election result to go in his favor, noting that it is the reason the NEC did not hear her case. She furthered that the peace and stability of Electoral District Number 5, Grand Bassa County, rests in the hands of the NEC because her followers will not take anything lightly. Madam Dennis said she was cheated by the NEC noting that there will be no peace in District 5 Grand Bassa County until her case can be heard by the electoral body of the country. Grand Bassa County District 4 Representative Alfred Flumo is calling for the revitalization of the Agricultural Bank of Liberia as a way of allowing farmers get loans that will help alleviate some of the burdens they are faced with. Addressing a team of reporters that is at his Capitol building office in Monrovia, the Grand Bassa County lawmaker identified agriculture and forestry as a primary livelihood for more than 60% of Liberia's 2021 real gross domestic product. The House Chair on Agriculture noted that the sector is seriously challenged with a lot of difficulties since the closure of the Agricultural Bank of Liberia due to the 14 years civil unrest. The Grand Bassa County District 4 representative furthered that most agriculture is on a small scale and overall agricultural productivity is low due to the lack of quality agricultural inputs. According to him, with the constraints in the agricultural sector, revitalizing the Agricultural Bank of Liberia will allow farmers to get loans that will help alleviate some of the burdens they are facing. Liberia and Ghana have renewed their commitment to greater cooperation for the mutual benefit of their respective governments. The two ECOWAS countries reassured their quest to promote their bilateral ties while at the same time recommitting to upholding the framework of the sub-regional bloc. According to an executive mansion release, the commitment was made recently when President Joseph Boakai and Ghana Vice President Muhammadu Bawumia held talks in Accra, Ghana. The release furthered that President Boakai expressed gratitude to his Ghanaian counterpart, Nana Akufo-Addo, for the level of support received prior to and during his inauguration. Liberia and Ghana have shared a history of stable democratic governance and respect for the rule of law, not only in West Africa, but on the African continent. The Ministry of Finance Development Planning has issued a directive to all governmental agencies to submit their current or dummy payrolls by the 10th of every month for scrutiny and adjustment. The measure is said to be part of the government's commitment to improve fiscal management and ensure the punctual disbursement of salaries to all government employees. The move, the ministry said in a statement release or reflect the dedication of the government to uphold transparency and accountability within its financial operations. Agencies are instructed to comply with the deadline set by the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning to facilitate a smooth process. The Ministry of Finance and Development Planning further assure all agencies that this step is crucial in enhancing the effectiveness of payroll management and assure that hard-working public servants receive their salaries early and without discrepancies. And away from Liberia now, I beg your pardon, the House of Representatives has requested its Ways, Means and Finance Committee to review President Joseph Boakai's plea to spend a little over $41 million to cover the government operations for the month of February 2024. The plenary of the House reached the decision Thursday, February 15, based on a communication submitted by President Joseph Boakai to that August body. President Boakai, through his communication, noted that in view of the fact that the draft budget for the fiscal year 2024 was returned and is now being finalized for resubmission, the operation of the government have to continue to avoid a shutdown. President Boakai is meanwhile seeking authorization to spend the amount of $41,300,000 as reflected in the details attachment. The president emphasized that the amount will cover the government operation for the month of February this year. Meanwhile, the committee is expected to report to plenary in a period of 2 weeks. Well, folks, that does it for the news bulletin. Let's now cross over to Stephen Compton, who is going to continue the program, Freedom News Basket.
We'd like to say many thanks to you, Anthony Phillips, for the news bulletin. It is a regular feature on Freedom News Basket. 45 minutes of major happenings about Liberia, Africa, and elsewhere. And one of the top stories we are carrying this evening, Liberia to benefit from US 20 million provided by the Global Environmental Facility for the biodiversity, land use, and climate change activities in Africa. We will take a very short break and we'll come back. We'll bring you voices of the news makers. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. Our first development. Presidential Press Secretary Kula Fofana had disclosed plans by the government to officially launch its 100-day deliverables soon. Addressing the Executive Mansion reporters at the regular press briefing on Friday, February 16, 2024, Madam Fofana said the plans, as initially disclosed by President Joseph Boakai during his inaugural address to the nation, are so far well on course.
They did announce 100 days deliverable, and that is well in place, it's well on course. As I speak, the team working on the deliverable is showing that all the different sectors bring their bids, their own contributions to the 100 day deliverable, their plans and programs, but more importantly, how we track the implementation of those plans and programs. And interestingly, the 100 day deliverable will be launched upon its completion by the committee that's working on it, and that will happen in the soonest possible time. We all will be informed as to the next stage. And one of the things that the government, the president is keen on is to ensure that the sector leaders, for example, Minister of Commerce, is in charge of it, Ministry of Public Works is in charge of it, and the rest of the different sectors, education, health, is in charge of their bids. They continue to do that. Additionally, as you also know, that the president, during his annual list, he did mention and he spoke about the issue of drug addiction in our country, and his plans to ensure that that is curtailed. The president did set up a committee there and then, and I'm here to report to you that that committee has been working assiduously over the last couple of weeks to ensure that what the president made happen around the issue of drug addiction, especially for our young people. The committee headed by the Minister of Health are continuously met, and of recent, they will start on Monday, which is this coming Monday, they will start doing an assessment of all of the different areas that is responsible for affording issue of rehabilitation centers. They will map out all the rehabilitation centers that it is in the country.
Presidential Press Secretary Kula Fofana there disclosing plans about the Boakai government. The Environmental Protection Agency, in collaboration with the Global Environmental Facility, has clamored a full-day consultancy workshop on climate change. The full-day workshop, which commenced on Tuesday, February 13 in Monrovia, brought together representatives from Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Guinea, among others. Speaking during the closure of the workshop, Professor Wilson Tape lauded members of the Global Environmental Facility and his regional counterparts for what he termed as their unwavering commitment and support to the fight against climate change.
Thank you very much. First, let me thank all of you for being with us from the start. We say happy weekend to you. From the beginning, we told you that this gathering is the expanded constituency workshop, which brings together 8 countries from the West Africa sub-region, 4 francophone, 4 anglophone countries. And the purpose was to compare notes as to how we manage our portfolio. Portfolio meaning the loans, the money we receive from the Global Environment Facility. And that's an institution, that's a funding mechanism under the Paris Agreement. The JEF is located in Washington and they provide funding to countries for climate change interventions. As far as Liberia is concerned, JEF has been very active here. We have a project in Sino. They did the Buchanan revetment in Buchanan, and they have other projects coming on. We just got another 20 million that has been allocated for, biodiversity, land use, and climate change activities. So we got together as a constituency with Jeff to exchange views on how we handle it. And as a country, we are proud and we want to say thanks to the government because this kind of meeting is usually competitive. It was between Liberia and the Cote d'Ivoire, and we won the privilege to host it. So it's a very big thing because Jeff is a very big organization, and for you to come here is a big thing. And so we are proud as EPA to have hosted that. Again, thanks to the government. And we see the JEF as a major institution, and we are going to benefit from a lot of resources from JEF.
For his part, a council member of the Global Environmental Facility thanked all participants who he said helped in ensuring that the objectives of the gathering were met. He meanwhile pledged his organization's support and commitment to the fight against climate change and other environmental related issues, which he said pose threats to the livelihood of humanity.
I would like to thank our host country, that's Liberia, for showing us the brotherly love or sisterly love in terms of gender and giving us all the opportunities for us to interact with the secretariat, who has given us an insight in our programs, portfolio, what it entails, and plus all efforts and all focal points of the international conventions to take the advantage to come up with concepts and please try and interact with the secretary, whatever concept that we use up. See whether there are funding sources within the secretary, and I hope the secretary will give us the needed support to be able to make maximum use of the resources that has been allocated. The secretary has used in parts our people in our countries and also provide the needed global benefits that all of us will enjoy. On this note, I would like to thank the Secretary for giving us an in-depth knowledge of the programs and activities. On behalf of all the people, I would like to thank all of cooperating and assisting us to come to this. Thank you very much.
A council member of the Global Environmental Facility there speaking earlier, you listened to the voice of Professor Wilson Tappet. Workers at Ganta Mental Hospital in Ganta, Nema County on Friday staged a protest action in demand of their 3 months' salary owed them by the hospital's authority. Speaking during a meeting with a representative of the facility in Ganta, the president of the hospital's worker union, Gabriel Tozia, said that the action was intended to call the attention of the hospital's administration to ensure that their salaries are paid.
Listening to the president of the workers' union.
You are bumping them with us. For those of that, he said, nobody buy them money, but I can't do you. Hello, to the power. But if I remiss side, whenever Ghana hospital workers are in problem, from my understanding, you are the only person who hospital that one can report that. I said, I was in 2012 to give my own one said I'm about to. But always when we are in problem, you are always the person for the melody circle. When it comes to dealership and hierarchies within better, you are the only person who hospital. I think we are ahead with here. Even when it comes to chapel, when you give me a town where different year, I want to buy just with maintenance department store. No current in that hospital when they have 50%, 30% issue. You are the only person that's still on that can be called. When you give me to now, some of you are not been redressed, but when the bishop will come so that we can put the issues before we have a lot of issues. So we'll put it before bishop. We'll look at one office will be talking. I go say some of us so that we can talk it. Then we get security here. So with this and with your request, the workers are consented that we as Webber Ghana Hospital, we are all part of the health system. Don't recognize the issue of maternal problem. And this is a concern nature part. So we will be able to stay up from now to Tuesday on any maternal issue. So with this, we also have to continue the go slow. All the department within Ghana Hospital are most OP, the outpatient department, and that of TRO will be closed. Any maternal case have come, our man have been although we vet, because they born through for them to get something, so they can say that my child and then we go to my child compound. Nobody get good fan and achievement go there, and they go bring them what we in the heat. So our man and Billy will get spoiled. All the pregnant women that have problems, we will care for them from now to Tuesday. Foreign will be on to all the departments to see that the hospital for patients that are in taking care. As I said, and I repeat myself, foreign will be on in the hospital. Day to night, we have patients in. Those are we are incorporated. All that are in system with us, we must manage them. So in any case are coming beside maternal case, in any case are coming other institutions around. They can go there until Tuesday when we do meet, don't move forward.
For her part, a representative of the Ganta Methodist Hospital, Madam Priscilla Glennon, thanked the workers for reconsidering their decision and promised to ensure that their demands are addressed in a timely manner. She used the occasion to call on the government of Liberia to ensure that the hospital is subsidized, something she said will empower the facility to attend to the medical needs of Liberians, especially those in Nema County.
Can say at this moment we ended on a good note. We understand the grievances and we understand the concern. We've been in communication with our bishop. Our conference is going on in Buchanan. So the bishop with the administrator of the hospital, Adi, and all other officials are where they are. But we heard about the go-slow today, we decided to come and intervene. So we have been here from this morning to this present. I can say that we came to a conclusion that the 3 months salary, 2 months have been paid. 1 month, January will be paid this coming Friday. So we want to say that at this time we still owe them 1 month, which will be February. And we are pleading to the community, downtown community, that they will come to the aid of the hospital. The hospital serve the community. When they come to healthcare, we are number one. They come to nursing college, we are there. They come to high school education, we are there. So we want the community to see us as people in mission and ministry with them. We are doing it because of the people to save lives. So we just want to say we are in class and we're going to address the situation little by little. I can speak on behalf of the hospital administrator, Ali, because I'm on the council. We are not being able to receive subsidy from the government side. We hope that the new government, they call us faith-based. But their faith-based, we are number one serving the community and the people. So whether we are faith-based, we are Christian, we are still serving him and we are saving lives. So why is there segregation between Methodist and other hospitals? The only assurance we can get them is that we have to be involved into community services, maybe do more awareness or education, other programs that will bring in the hospital to generate income. Let's say our community health that will go out to community. How much do we get from them? Even the people that will serve it, how much do they bring? When they come, they have to beg and beg and beg. So the only thing that we depend on here, that the subsidy that the government been giving us, when you go by, we're making an appeal to Jeremiah Kuhn, the vice president, his office, to Joseph Parker, our own men that came to rescue everybody. We're one of those that need to be rescued.
Grand Bassa County District 4 Representative Alfred Flomo is calling for the revitalization of the Agriculture Bank of Liberia as a way of allowing farmers get loans that will help alleviate some of the burden they are faced with. Addressing a team of reporters at his Capitol Building office in Monrovia, the Grand Bassa County lawmaker identified agriculture, forestry, as a primary livelihood for more than 60% of Liberia's 2021 real gross domestic product.
I can tell you, if we don't venture in agriculture, it will be the wrong step that this country is moving to. Agriculture is developing planting, other agricultural products, they have the storage, but we don't have. So I place an issue on the floor concerning creating the agriculture bank. You know, a lot of Liberians want to be a middle class. How do we support the agriculture sector if we don't have an institution that is willing to support the Ministry of Agriculture to support local farmers outside there? So I told my colleagues that we have to fight to support the president's effort. We should engage with the banking system to make sure we revitalize the agriculture bank to be able to give support to our local farmers outside there. And if we do that, we know the economy will become an agri-economy and this country will move forward and our nation, the private sector, will absorb most of our citizens in Liberia. And I believe it's the best way forward. It's about time that we make sure that we work with the agriculture institution by creating the banking system that will support. Because if you look at most of our banks in Liberia, they are only focused on short-term loan payment. They are not venturing in long term. So I think with the establishment of the agriculture bank, it will help to support the agriculture sector, even the Ministry of Agriculture, to have technicians established in all of the 73 districts in our country, thereby enumerating farmers in different that is engaged in different crops, and government should do everything to have the storage to preserve these agricultural products so that at least we can change the citizen who venture in agriculture and other commodity, thereby making them to be middle class tomorrow. And I believe we have to support the sector so that our country can move forward and our country can have that. Let me tell you, our journalists, we are going the wrong way in this country. It will keep relying building this government up. And to look at the Topper era, we have a lot of industries in this country. I one of those that said there was no reason we get rid of Topper because Topper was building the industry that provide a lot of jobs for our citizens. When I was kids living around shoe factory, I used to just walk there, give the guys 5 cents, they give me slippers with rope. I put it there, I get slippers to wear. We have shoe factory, we have glass factory, we have battery factory, we have matches factory.
That's Grand Bassa County District 4 Representative Alfred Flomo. They're calling for the revitalization of the Agriculture Bank of Liberia. Well, if you are just joining us, this is a reminder that you are listening to Freedom News Basket. 45 minutes of major happenings about Liberia, Africa, and elsewhere. And top stories we are following this evening. The government of Liberia discloses plans to officially launch its 100-day deliverable in the country. Liberia to benefit from US 20 million provided by the Global Environmental Facility for the biodiversity, land use, and climate change activities in Africa. The National Patriotic Party refutes media reports of the party's withdrawal from the Coalition for Democratic Change. And away from home, BBC is reporting that a decision to postpone this month's presidential election in Senegal was against the constitution the country's top court has ruled. We'll take a very short break and we'll come back. We'll bring you more details. Welcome back. Still in Grand Bassa County, defeated Grand Bassa County District 5 Representative Kennedy Joa Dennis has accused the National Elections Commission of certificating Representative Toma Goswa without hearing her case before their hearing committee. Addressing the news conference Friday in Monrovia, the former Grand Bassa County Electoral District 5 Representative Kennedy said after providing the NEC with all evidence regarding the recount in the district, the NEC went on and certificated the current representative of the district.
Next, when we did that complaint at NEC, they received the complaint and everything. They signed for it. Then NEC went ahead and certificated Thomas Oswald while our complaint is pending with them. Without going through the case, they went and certificated Thomas Oswald. When we voted October 10, 2023, the total number of persons that voted October 10, 2023 was 20,931. When we went for the recount, after the recount, the total number that they had was 20,951. So the question comes back to me. We only went to verify we had a complaint. So what's supposed to happen? Either invalid reduce or go up, or valid increase or reduce. The overall number of votes supposed to remain constant. That did not happen. The overall number of votes increased. So we asked them next, what is it? We want to know what is going on. We provided them with all of the evidence. And once they made it 1 week, since we got back to next. And because they are in some cohort, we don't know what is going on when we go. So they keep pushing us around. But I want to make it very clear here today. The peace and the stability of electoral district number 5 is in the hands of NEC, because our people will not take anything less than what they voted for. If NEC do not hear this case, they will have themselves to blame, because we will not take it easy with them. There will be no peace in electoral district number 5 until our case is heard. It's not a threat, but it's a fact that I say, and we will not go easy on them. 1 week have already elapsed, and we have not heard from them. We have not heard a word from NEC. NEC went and certificated wrongly. You cannot have a case and then you go ahead and certificate. You cannot have number increasing and then you go ahead and certificate. You cannot have ballot boxes broken into serial numbers, change, and then you go ahead and certificate. I can have a different serial number. The other candidate and myself got the same serial number. Then the number in their own record of account and my number is the same. But then the one they got on the pass is different. And then you go ahead and certificate.
That's Joadene. She is of defeated Grand Bassa County District 15 representative there speaking. The representative of District 12, Monserrado County, Jerry Yokbo, has officially declared his asset to the Secretary of the House of Representatives. Speaking during the presentation of his asset, Representative Jerry Yokbo said his decision to declare his asset is in accordance to the Code of Conduct. Representative Yokbo assured the resident of the district that he will always be transparent in his undertaking at the legislature.
LACC for all elected and official of government to submit or declare the assets. We have come this way to make full and official our asset declaration. Okay. So that we are in compliance with the LACC requirement as lawmaker. I'm sorry.
Representative Jerry Yokbo of Monserrado County Electoral District number 12 there speaking. And up next is the foreign development, but this development says the pace. Deputy Public Works Minister for Technical Service Designate Prince Tama has termed as a total disrespect and mockery on the part of the Liberian government to pay trained engineers at the ministry US $300 to $400 monthly. Speaking when he appeared for a confirmation hearing on Capitol Hill Thursday, Tama stressed that Liberia has well-trained and professional civil engineers working at the ministry without motivation.
In terms of resources and meeting counterpart financing, there are a lot of challenges. In terms of even capacity of the engineers at public works, we have very good engineers at public works, but they are not being motivated to do their own. Honorable senators, can you imagine graduating, spending 5 years at the university in engineering school and being paid $300-400 as an engineer at public works? This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And even we rely on them to do supervision work on all of our projects. When anything goes wrong, they say, where are the engineers at public works? Where are the engineers? but the engineers have not been given the tools for them to be able to do their work. They don't. The resident engineers don't have vehicle. The site engineers cannot adequately supervise the work because they don't have fuel. Most of them are the mercy of the contractors. What do you think? If I'm driving a vehicle, I don't have diesel to put in the car. The contractor can give me some. Of course, that's where compromising comes in. So our task at Public Works is to make sure that we give the engineers the spirit and respect for them to do their work as professional engineers. We have to support them. If it means that we come to your doors and asking you to provide additional resources to help us, let's make sure we motivate our engineers to work. We will do that when we are confirmed.
Also, disclosing his vision for the ministry, if confirmed, Prince Tamba disclosed that he is focused on sustaining the country's network, especially the 13,000 kilometers of road across the country.
My vision for Public Works is, first of all, to sustain our network. The minister was here. The minister talked about, he laid a platform for what we're going to work on, and I'm very much in line with the minister's vision when I'm confirmed. And but particularly on the as Deputy Minister of Technical Services, we want to be able to maintain our 13,000 kilometers. The minister gave you all of the statistical numbers that came up from 2019. I don't want to go you those numbers. About 8.7% of our road paved, about 18% of our roads are permanent roads. I don't want to give you all these numbers because of time. But sustaining our network means we have to put our money where our mouth is. We have to make sure that we increase the budgetary allocation. We have to make sure that we consider road as an asset. We also look at road as a commercial way of recuperating some of our investment. Let me inform you that I've developed an algorithm that quantify how much we have in our roads right now. Our road right now worth 1.6 billion. Our entire network. This is an asset. If we consider this an asset, we don't want it to depreciate. We only want it to appreciate.
Deputy Public Works Minister for Technical Service designate Prince Tamba there making his case during his confirmation hearing before the Liberian Senate, and he's taking us back to Anthony Philip for the development.
The decision to postpone this month's presidential election in Senegal was against the constitution the country's top court has ruled. The Constitutional Council ignored both President Macky Sall's decree and a contentious bill passed by Parliament moving the vote to December. Widespread protests have gripped the West African country, once considered a bastion of stability in the region. A leading opposition figure hailed the ruling as a great day for democracy. And that's where Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has appointed his son-in-law as the head of the Federal Housing Authority, sparking concern about nepotism. This is the first time President Tinubu has selected a relative for a position in the federal government. Announcing his appointment, the presidency said Mr. Ojo had over a decade of experience in the housing and hospitality industries and is also a former member of the House of Representatives. The Foreign News.
Many thanks to you, Anthony Phillips, for the foreign development, and he's taking us home on this weekend edition of the news program. But before we take leave of you, here are top stories we follow this evening. The government of Liberia discloses plans to officially launch its 100-day deliverable in the country. Liberia to benefit from US $20 million provided by the Global Environmental Facility for the biodiversity, land use, and climate change activities in Africa. The National Patriotic Party refutes media reports of the party's withdrawal from the Coalition for Democratic Change. And away from home, the BBC is reporting that the decision to postpone this month's presidential election in Senegal was against the constitution the country's top court has ruled. On this note, we'd like to say many thanks to our news writer, correspondents, and editors For making today's news presentation a success, Anthony Phillips was here with the news bulletin inclusive of the foreign development. I'm Stephen Compton. Thanks for listening and have a pleasant weekend.